So
Oh yeah.
that's my opinion. I think it's like everything with regards to money can be a big casino. They're gonna buy Bitcoin, like they probably want to buy it low. But within crypto, something I've done that I wouldn't tell my mom. Maybe some like investments in some tokens, to be honest. Like
Once Nicola, when he was young, you remember?
green gems. I was buying chests of gems, but I'm telling you, like I thought it was free. And thanks for sharing, Trillian, by the way. He just jumps in whenever he wants. Where my mom would say, "Hey, that's a lot of money."
Have you ever used rent money to like buy to gamble with it, or like to buy like stocks and shit?
Hey, you're not invited here.
Hey, Nicola, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Thanks. Pleasure to meet you today and seeing you here with our interview with thanks for finding the time for answering the I would say burning questions from the community and not only also from me. So yeah, we're having different topics today and some of them are a bit spicy, so prepare yourself for that. Hey guys, let's make it more exciting. For those who watch interview, like full interview with Limpus and with Nicola, and leave the most interesting 3 comments, we will give away 3 Limpus NFTs and 3 Layer 1 NFTs from AlphaMind. So let the community decide which comment is most interesting. See you guys. Have good luck.
Okay, I have no idea what you're going to ask me, so I'm a little nervous, but let's do it. I'm happy to be
Oh,
here.
come on, don't be. I'm not biting. Okay. Okay, let's start from the basics, as we call it, yeah? Let's start from your project, like Limpus. And I want just to understand, I just want to be real. Is Limpus is just another pump and dump project, or are you, like, guys, seriously building something within the long term? And I'm sure you will answer yes, but just let me know why the cat is hiding his eyes then.
Okay, so the thing with Limpus is that we didn't have much experience with meme coins specifically before we launched. We had a lot of Web3 experience, but it kind of came out of nowhere. It was just like an artistic, like we got this cat together with the blindfold, like to be a bit different. A cat that like doesn't see, but focuses on what matters, in trading and whatnot. It was a vision of like filter out the noise and focus on what's important. That's how Limpus came about. And when we launched, we were kind of blown away by the size of it. We on Linea we reached 100K market cap within an hour, and then we were just like, what's going on here? Like we had no expectation. I didn't even think like, oh, what market cap are we gonna reach? And we hit a all-time high of 2 million, being the third biggest on Linea. And from there, to answer your question, is it just a pump and dump? Definitely not, because on chain you can see that we've never sold, but instead we got inspired to stay on Linea and build more on Linea, which is why we have the Inferno.fun memecoin launchpad that's going to release near the Linea TGE. And we're in talks with the Linea team and the consensus team on how we can support them. Now, people know us on Linea. They love us. We love them. It's just a fairy story, kind of. Everything worked out so nicely. But yeah, it's not a pump and dump.
Okay, but why the cat is hiding his eyes then on your mascot?
Who knows? Maybe one day it will take the blindfold off. It's not up to me, Limpus decides. So maybe one day it will surprise everyone and take it off. But I cannot speak on that. It's not. I don't have the blindfold on.
Is it like Gojo Satoru is hiding behind the
I don't
behind?
know. Does it have eyes? Does it have one eye? No one knows. So we're just gonna have to wait and see and
Yeah,
figure out what's hiding behind the blindfold.
I
Maybe
hope.
it's another blindfold as well. Who knows?
Yeah, that's kind of a fun meme you can create, by the way. Like when everyone is expecting that they will see the eyes or something or nothing, then like just another covering the eyes. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Moving on. like you mentioned a couple of times that you're building on Linea. And I just want to understand like why. Basically because you do believe in Linea and you are kind of bullish on that, or it's just because of the hype and like you've seen that within the times when you were just creating the project, you've seen that everyone was kind of hyping and farming on the Linea, like LXP campaigns and so on, and you thought like, yeah, we're just going to be with like among these degens and want to catch their attention.
Yeah, so full disclosure, I have 0 Linea XP points, right? Like I think Linea has flown a lot under the radar for some farmers, degens and whatnot, where it wasn't super hot. And then we found out about it. We said, hey, we can launch a meme coin here. And what really sparked my interest was the consensus backing, their focus on meme coins, on the communities, and like big products as well, which is a crazy mix. You don't see that very often, where there is such a massive corporation, a billion-dollar company founded by Joseph Lubin, who is now focusing not only on the corporate and onboarding Web2, you know, and all these like massive corporations to blockchain, but also focusing on meme coins, and they care about their community. So we arrived, I believe, a couple of days before the LXP farming stopped. So I have 0. Like I have no interest in the airdrop itself. But I still believe deeply in Linea's ability to execute a good TGE, which is going to be super important, and their ability to keep on focusing on these things, which are community, you know, these big corporations as well, and being the home network to Consensus, which is one of the biggest Web3 companies. So I think, you know, people have mixed feelings and there's ups and downs always, like before a TGE. But especially from my communications lately with the Consensus and the Linea team, I couldn't be more bullish on the TGE itself. I think it's going to be very well executed, and I think people should worry less about the timing. You know, I understand that everyone, you know, like farmed for a long time. The LXP stopped, but you know, hey, now you have the LXP, like you can wait for the TGE, and better to have a well executed one than one that's just thrown out there to airdrop these to these farmers, which are like great people. If you meet all the farmers on Linea, I think it's a very like homely blockchain compared to others which are a bit more toxic, you know, and whatnot. So I think I got a bit like too deep into the question, but Linea is amazing. I think it works super well. They have a big team behind it that works well. So it's just like a cocktail of like a perfect recipe for a blockchain, in my opinion. I think there's so many things to be bullish about.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I agree with you regarding that. I'm myself personally bullish on Linea, but to be honest, I've never heard of Linea much like 6 months ago, something like that. But then I started diving deeply into Linea and like, come on, it's one of the most friendliest ecosystems I've ever seen. Like I worked with different and yeah, it's kind of one of the most supportive ones. But yeah, thanks. We understand that we're both bullish on Linea. Linea, like we're waiting for your comments.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving to the next one. Like you mentioned regarding the meme coins, yeah? And do you think this kind of meme coins are the future? Because I believe you've seen all the situation on the market, the celebrity coins that were popular like a year ago or something like that, the meme coin culture and how the meme I would say how the meme coins are transferring, I would say sometimes the mindset of the retail investors, basically. So what do you think? Like, do you really believe in the meme coins? Is it the future or is just another gamble?
Yeah, I think there's a big mix in meme coins. You know, you find it's like crypto is, it's like how it was before is like how meme coins are now. You know, you can make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money. There's definitely a lot of gambling in it. And I think some people have like ruined their name, you know, just like many people ruined the name of crypto, and not forever, you know, but they like put a smear on it, and people become more careful to deal with blockchain and with meme coins even more specifically. So I think what's really important, like for meme coins to move forward and to stay relevant, is for there to be tools that counteract all the tools that have been built in order to create pumps and dumps.
Yeah.
Because I have seen on Solana and like these big meme blockchains where there are tools that literally let you like pump and dump a coin artificially and just steal money off of people's pockets. We've seen it with the celebrity coins. So I think people like need to find a way to trust meme coins again. Now we have like a bit of a bad market going on. So as well, like things are down. People say like meme coins are done. But I think meme coins that were established and were trusted before this like dump are going to still pick up and succeed as long as the community that they built was genuine. And I think there's still going to be a lot of opportunity for meme coins to succeed in the future. But I think this is like commonly accepted is that community is the most important thing in a meme coin. So if you have a strong community behind it, whether it's an old meme coin or a new one, you'll be able to succeed. And you need to, as I said, put a lot of trust in the team itself and like the big holders. So it's becoming, I would say, a bit more complex than it ever was. You know, in the beginning, like a meme coin was something very simple. You look at it like, oh, it just goes going up. You know, if community engages, it goes up, and I make money. But there's a lot of complexities to it that I would love to get into, but I think there is still a lot of space for meme coins to do well.
Yeah, and you mentioned about the meme coins and Solana. What do you like truly think about that? Like, what is your honest opinion? Is it like a whole like Solana? I would say it's a whole market of the casino and gamblers, or there is something more there.
I'd never like to speak badly about anyone. And if I have to be honest, I am not too in tune with like market prices and all this stuff. I personally don't like to trade. I just like to build things and build projects. So with regards to Solana, I think they were very good at capturing the initial meme coin hype. It was a great network to do it, and it picked up very well. So I'm happy for like all the communities that started from there and like started this trend. So I wouldn't say it's like a bad like name for Solana. I think they've done a great thing with the meme coins. And to be fair, all of crypto and all of financial markets are some type of casino. If you don't have the right information, then it becomes a form of casino, where there's people that are much more informed than you that are like eating off of your plate. But you can catch the right timing, So I have a lot of friends that tell me like, oh my God, like this token, like a big token, like maybe like top 10 is down, like XRP is down, for example, right? And they tell me, I'm going to buy. And I'll tell them, what does XRP do? And they have no idea, So they are gambling just the same.
Yeah.
Whether it's Bitcoin or a meme coin that's below 1 million market cap, if you're not informed and if you don't have some type of knowledge on what's going on, then it's always going to be gambling. And the same can be said about Amazon stock. I could say like Amazon went down 10%, I'm going to buy it. But if I have no idea why it went down and what's Amazon going to do, like to bring back the sentiment, then like I'm gambling just the same. So that's my opinion. I think it's like everything with regards to money can be a big casino.
I believe we're all a bit gamblers because when you feel this this action, I would say you cannot stop sometimes. But yeah, talking about the Amazon you mentioned, you remember this tariff wars we had like last week, or we're still, I believe, having some movements there. And what's your opinion? Like Trump, is he our crypto killer or he's our crypto saver? Because we all had expectations for Trump, and nowadays what we are seeing, like to me, it looks like he's trying to kill the market at the same time trying to save the market. Like I kind of don't even know if he's a saver or he's a killer. And what's more importantly, like will Limpus survive under this kind of Trump leadership?
So Limpus will survive and thrive in the future, no doubt. But with regards to Trump, as I said, like I'm not super informed, so I will give you my uninformed opinion. But I think that there is a big future ahead of us, like in the next couple of months, until end of 2025. I think things will be up, but I don't think he's a crypto killer. I think like as a very stupid remark, like if I was Trump and I wanted to make a Bitcoin reserve, I would try and dump Bitcoin as much as possible so that I can buy it. Like that's like a very simplistic, like one small thing that I would like take from that is like, hey, if they're gonna buy Bitcoin, like they probably want to buy it low, right? Like why would you want to buy something when it's like at an all-time high?
Yeah,
So that's like a very uninformed opinion. But I think after these things settle, like these wars settle, I think there is space for more growth and for everyone to thrive. Like crypto, I think has struggled a lot to find its use case where it's been like a casino, it's been a place for people to do illicit business and whatnot, and it's growing, it's evolving into something that people are going to adopt widely now, where it's not just these specific use cases, but like as a base for payments, identity,
yeah.
and all the stuff that I consider a bit boring, to be honest. But it's coming, and corporations are moving to blockchain. As long as the technology finds a product market fit, it will grow, and there are a lot of people working on finding these use cases and enabling them and plugging them into web 2 and like the current payment systems, current identity systems. So I think that it's going to grow regardless. I think a lot of projects are bullshit. Like there are many utility coins that are less useful than a meme coin, because at least with a meme coin you have a community of people that you speak to, that share your views, that share your ups and downs when the chart moves. So that creates like entertainment and engagement and a feeling of belonging to something, whereas there are some utility coins that like they don't need to be on the blockchain, to be honest. Like we were fine with web 2 and how it worked, and there's no need to bring it into web 3. But I think crypto in general is a good space to be, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Oh, the same here.
So I'm bullish. What do you think about Trump and like this tariff wars? Where do you think we're going from here?
Oh, to be honest, I can't agree with you from your opinion, from your perspective. To me, I'm just an observator who is seeing what's going on and reacting, I would say, because I don't like playing, like I love asking playing prediction game with the founders, with other companies, but when someone is asking my opinion, especially regarding something unpredictable, like 100% to me, I'm just like, okay, man, okay, I'm just passing this question. I'm just an observator who is seeing what's going on in the market. But to my perspective, like to my personal opinion, I think what he's doing from my perspective, like from one perspective it's good, from the other one is bad. It depends on the angle which you look, like from which angle you're looking at. So kind of, yeah, a bit a bit messy answer though, like just an observator,
Mhm.
you know.
Very politically correct, though.
Oh,
It's like very neutral.
I would say you see, like you might see one of the most apolitical person in your corporation, like in your network, because politics is something that I really observe and sometimes really hate. Thanks, by the way. Thanks. Moving to the next one. What do you think about, like, let's talk about the sexes, yeah? Are you thinking, like, do you think that the sexes are the kind of real whales who are behind all these meme coin pumps and dumps? Like, I'm sure that you got like millions, like literally millions of the DMs with some of the listing offers, yeah? That just they just killed you. Like, when they're just writing like daily from Maxi, from different sexes, like I'm sure that just from Binance I've never received the offer, but from this like Maxi, Gate, like a lot of the sexes, like even these sexes I've never heard of.
oh yeah, like Bit Tomato or something, you know, like who the hell are these guys, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But where you're wondering if they even have a sex or not, or it's just like some fake landing page. You
Yeah.
know, it's crazy. You're completely right. I think that's part of the reason why people have lost trust in some of these meme coins, you know, because there are a lot of artificial pumps, and it's just about like who has the incentive to pump them. Like there are CEXs involved, there are market makers involved, even the meme coin launchpads themselves, you know. There are people that have insider knowledge from other projects that like a meme coin can collaborate with a team specifically that has insider knowledge will trade, you know, and they will make money off of it and kind of fuck over the community that like believes in it and would stay for the long run. So I think it's all about like who has the incentive to pump it. We've seen like the Trump coin, the Melania coin.
Oh, yeah.
I know of like Peanut, for example. You know, like that massive market cap.
Mhm.
And from what I've heard, like I don't have any proof or any like knowledge, insider knowledge of this, but it's all like market made. And these people that like they're handed off the liquidity and they pump it and slowly drip sell on the way up. You know, so whenever there's something that big, then there's going to be someone who is hungry, you know, and wants a piece of that. If you're like a $2 million market cap coin, you will have someone much smaller, like insider trading it. And but when it goes to like the billions, you know, there's a lot of people that would do a lot worse for that
Mhm.
money. So it's kind of in the human nature, I feel, to do that. And that's why, to be honest, I wasn't surprised, but like I really think like we did a great job with Limpus in not selling. You know, we did some OTCs through Ape Bond, and we disclosed this to the community. We told them, hey, we're putting this much supply on Ape Bond, and which is an OTC marketplace. But on market, we never sold a cent. And if you asked me this, like, I don't know, maybe like 2 years ago, like, hey, if your coin went to 2 million, like, would you sell? Like, without having any knowledge of it, like, without being into meme coins, I would have been like, oh, probably, you know, like, without understanding, like, what it really means to run a project. But, like, the genuine ones, you know, like, the team, like, loves the project. They get involved with the community. And then it's like selling on your own friends, you know,
Mhm.
that's like where you draw the line, right? But if it was like some peanut and like we handed off the liquidity to some market maker on a sex, then you lose control, right? And it's not even up to you anymore what happens to the funds of your community. But yeah, there's a lot of shady stuff going on with like these big tokens, so that we don't even have like half an idea of what it is.
Mhm. It's
So
like,
it's scary.
yeah, it's like I remember the first time I've heard about the refundable launch pads. And just as short of top, I'm sure like you've heard about that. Nelly probably also told you about that. But you know how like the launch pads were basically were meant to be, yeah, like a fundraising platform where you can create some community sales or IDOs or whatever, and like to gather early supporters. And it's kind of, there were no refund policies, no this bullshit. And right now we have like probably 90% of the launch pads in the market with this refund policies that is killing the projects. Yeah, like basically from this, I would say, refundable launch pads, the project itself might get even like 10% allocation or even zero if the refunds are like 100%. And like from some history, like I wouldn't mention the project, but we've heard a lot when we were working with the projects. We heard a lot about their like history with the refundable launch pads, especially when they had like 100% refunds. Like, can you imagine that
Sorry,
you're spending money on marketing, you're spending money on development, you're doing all the stuff, and then you're getting like zero?
I am not familiar with like the mechanics of a refundable launchpad. Like in like easy steps, can you like explain to me like how one works?
Yeah,
Is it like a
basically.
meme coin launchpad with a refund policy that you're mentioning, or like ICO?
Let me just break it down within the details and probably you will understand from the example. Let's imagine we're having Project X. Not like not the not the Twitter like that was formal. Okay.
Yeah.
Project Y. Let's next make it Project Y. and they're having like say the private round or the community round, let's say, and they're allocating I don't know, let's say 100K, allocating for the launchpad to support, like to get the support from the community, and they're taking like the audience from their own community and from the launchpad community, and they're getting let's say they made a sold out like 100K. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the moment and they're not receiving any money on their wallets, like not zero. No, they
Okay.
are receiving all the funds after the TGE because of these refund policies. And let's
Okay.
imagine like TGE is like in 3 or 4 months. Yeah. You're having zero in your wallet from your community round. Then you're getting to the TGE. You're finally are like your token is finally tradable. And then nothing goes to your wallet at all. All these like pre-collected funds, they're getting back to those who basically applied for that, who like supported your project, who bought your tokens like on the early stages, but then they did the refund because they didn't like the chart. And then you're spending money, time, everything on marketing, like you're spending this all and you're getting zero. And how the project is feeling.
Yeah, so it's basically like flipping the risk
Uh-huh.
instead of like on the investor, it's flipping it on the project itself.
Uh-huh.
And I believe the whole point of like doing ICOs is like for liquidity and for runway and like all these funds like to run the project. And if you don't get it, what's the point?
Exactly. And
Okay.
because of these stupid refund policies, the projects are seeking the support from the investors. I'm not talking about like specific projects, yeah, because I know tons of projects who are working with the investors and who are really delivering what they're promising. But it's always the human factor. Sometimes, like I knew a couple of people who were raising the funds, and then they were just utilizing for their own purposes without even monetizing that. And it's awful. That's what kind of ruins the world. Like it ruins. From one perspective, the refund policies are killing the community side support, and from the other like from the other, I would say, perspective, the investors are getting disappointed within the projects, and we're seeing this loop because you cannot raise money from the community because they're doing the refund policies at the same time when you're like raising for operations. It's kind of like there is an unspoken rule that raising funds for operations, it's the worst strategy within the raising from the investors. Like we all kind of know about that, but we're not talking about that. At the same time, we're having like this, as I said, like this limbo, this cycle. You cannot raise from the community, you cannot raise from the investors, and what to do with the project? Like,
Yeah. Well, a quick point on that is like one thing I really believe is, of course, like on a big scale, you need funding. But I really think that the best projects bootstrap. Because if you're able to bootstrap a product, it means that you've really found product market fit, you know, that the team is able to go through like pain and struggle in order to make it to that MVP and that like launch. So I really like those types of projects that have like like raised zero and instead just like do an airdrop to give to the community that supported them on engagement, you know, rather than like funds. So that way like people are much happier. And this is one thing about like meme coins that I think really picked up is a lot of people could make money out of nothing just from engaging, of course, like not from nothing but from their time, you know, and from their interest that they showed towards a project. You know, we've given out thousands and thousands of dollars. I believe like over $10,000 to $20,000 in only for our NFT launch. We gave away like $10,000 in one day for the Limpus project. You know, and it was bootstrapped. Like we started with zero funds, like just buying into the bonding curve for the team treasury. You know, and then from there everything was like going out in airdrops to people who engaged with us, who completed some tasks, like nothing monetary. Oh, look, there's Julian.
Hey,
Julian, you
Julian.
want to say hello? This is the co-founder of Limpus.
Hello.
Hey.
Where this is going on a YouTube video.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, is it
No, it's not live, but it's a recorded call.
Hello.
I'll leave you to it then, so I don't mess it up.
We're just talking about meme coins, the market, Linea, and whatnot.
All right. Yes, very interesting stuff. What were you talking about? But right now.
Just now, you blanked my memory, I have to say.
We were talking about bootstrapping and
Oh yeah, bootstrapping projects.
I see.
So, like whether you raise from investors or you raise from the community and so on. But let's not let him interrupt us. He has a lot of work to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can continue with the call.
yeah. While we're talking about that, and I'm really happy to see both of you, I would say, I have kind of spicy question here. So let's imagine the worst case scenario and Limpus goes to zero. What's the backup plan?
So, Julian, come here for that. Actually, I don't know if you've looked at the Limpus chart as of recent, but there has been some drama going on. Basically, the launchpad where we deployed the token rugged the liquidity, and we were more than half of the whole liquidity on that launchpad because our market cap was more than double all the other ones combined. And yeah, like it went to, I think it was some 20K market cap. It got rugged to, and it was like a very shocking moment. You know, we've been very silent on Limpus since then because we're gathering up the liquidity. We're working together with the consensus team and the Linea team, but we've kind of taken this time of silence to like regroup, come back stronger, and I guess you're gonna see in real life, first person, you're going to see what it's like for and what we would do when Limpus goes to zero, because right now it is like super low. We haven't like moved since then, and we've told people like just stay patient. But the status right now is we're going to relaunch Limpus together with the help of Linea and Consensus. And the other partners, we have like everyone on Linea is our friend. You know, we know everyone supports us. Plus, we have the Inferno.fun launchpad coming out. So we've really just been planning for a while. We've been growing our skills, developing a bigger tool set, scaling the team, and we're ready to come back with a lot more. We just started actually last week, and tomorrow we have the second episode of Brewcast. So whilst we've been quiet, we scaled the team and we kind of gave away a bit of our sauce and our secrets to some friends and people that have come to work with us and are now under the umbrella of Cappuccino Limited, which is our product slash marketing agency. And we started this podcast called the Brewcast. And last Friday we had the first podcast live with mainly Linea community, people that came from Limpus and had a lot of questions after our long silence. And we just kind of told them like, this is what the plan is, this is how we're going to execute. And you will see our comeback when Linea TGE comes. So the two things will align. And it's going to be great for everyone. Imagine you're expecting one TGE, and on top of that, you get Limpus, the favorite meme coin on the Linea blockchain, not set by me, but voted by the community on multiple occasions, come back stronger than ever. So I think it's going to be amazing, you know. And as I told you, like we've improved a lot. So if you thought we were doing a good job before with like all the millions of views we got and the market cap and the like lovely community, just wait till Linea TGE and you'll see what happens with Limpus. It's gonna be great.
Oh
Very
wow.
well said.
Yeah. Shout out for that. You know, I think it's going to be the first thing, like your new podcast is going to be the first thing I'm going to listen after this interview. Like, you
Funnily
just got
enough,
attention.
yeah, Julian shaved his beard for the first episode, and
Oh,
we're trying to find out how we're gonna like keep up that energy in the next ones. I might dye my hair or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
oh, it just reminded me. I don't remember. Probably you don't know. It was like maybe 5 years ago. It was one of the most popular streamers and bloggers within, like influencers within the CES audience. The guy, maybe you've heard of them, who was just giving some ads for the casinos, like Maelstrom. Probably you've heard of them or not, but he's
Oh, Melstroy, the Russian
yeah.
influencer, of course.
like he was doing also these crazy things and crazy stuff. And yeah, it's I'm just looking forward to the next episode. I just want to see what's going to be like what will change. And yeah,
Yeah, I think
thanks.
it's good because we're very professional.
Mhm.
We're good at what we do, but we have like this crazy energy. Like we're super young. We just want to have fun and like engage with people on blockchain. We want to be successful, so it's like a perfect mix. I think
Mhm.
it's what we're doing is great. Even like you inviting us over is a great honor. Like having a space to talk and be asked questions. I'm very grateful, to be honest, for everything that's happening.
Oh, we love you. Thanks.
So,
Moving to the next point, if you don't mind. So you've mentioned about the community voting, NFTs, all this meme culture. But what's kind of on your pitch deck? I mean, just be honest. What is kind of the smoke, and what are the mirrors behind the Olympus itself? Like we all know that the marketing is creating the magic around the project. Like as a marketer, I may say that it does. Like it has like around 60 to 70% sometimes effort on that. But there is always something behind, like a must thing to have a successful project. It must be something inside. So just let me know, what do you think is most key thing you have in your project?
yeah, I think that's a great question because, like, if we just stopped at Limpus, it would have been just another meme coin. But we were able to leverage that community and leverage that success and get into bigger things. So, building a launchpad, a meme coin launchpad from there that's ready to deploy and is going to be live on Linea pre TGE. And getting people reaching out to us about marketing and leading their product. I've been offered CEO positions for like a number of protocols, but I think really what it is we've leveraged that success and multiplied it. We've started snowballing, and we are not like just doing this and like forgetting about the old projects. Limpus was the spark, and that's why the people who were involved with Limpus and still remain involved and that show us support are going to be rewarded because it's not fun to be successful alone.
Mhm.
You can have all the success in the world, but if you don't have your friends and family around you to enjoy it with you, it's not worth anything.
Mhm.
And the Limpus community and the Linea community as a whole is those friends and family. So we have really used it as a stepping stone to like to be even more successful. And now with the brewcast and with Cappuccino Limited, the goal is not only to relaunch Limpus and have this Inferno launchpad, but to teach people also how to be successful, and show them what we do and bring them into our life, so that we can all be together and be successful together. I think that's what sets us apart from a lot of teams that just do pumps and dumps, or leave the project once it dies. Like we're not putting our heads down and
Mhm.
admitting defeat. We're just gathering up strength to come back stronger. And
Yeah.
we're already stronger. So imagine when Limpus is back.
Oh, I want to see that. I'm just waiting with temptation, I would say. Okay, I have also a couple of questions still. So, if you can remember one of the dumbest message someone ever like sent to you while was aiming into like Limpus and I don't know, maybe wanted to have a collaboration or a partnership opportunity, anything that comes to your mind, like the most dumbest message you ever had.
Oh, that's a good question. I think, I mean, there's a lot of projects that send you messages and they have like nothing going on. But I wouldn't say that's dumb. Like if you have a small project, you should reach out to like bigger projects and try. You miss every shot you don't take. But stupid or like dumb messages, I wouldn't say I have that outlook on anyone. I think it's just a lot of people trying things or like making some crazy proposals, but I don't look at it as dumb. I look at it
Mhm.
as they're trying. So I try to keep that positive outlook on things, and I don't like to like look at people as dumb, but
Mhm.
if I feel like a message is without purpose, I will try figure out what the purpose is and still like make something of it, you know. Just taking a message as dumb and like or putting it off might be a mistake. Maybe it's the beginning of something great, you know. Maybe they start with a dumb message, but something really good comes of it, you know. So I would say I don't really have a like a punchline for that, like a dumb message that I can say that I remember.
And that's really cool.
What
Like,
about you?
oh,
I'm
you know,
curious.
you're just curious. I cannot remember one, but it was like maybe a year or two ago. I don't remember the content. Like, honestly, it was like a year ago when I was doing another project. But since I was working mostly with different type of the projects, since like I was working for a marketing agency basically,
Yeah.
I've heard like I got maybe like from 10 to 20 messages daily, and they were, you know, these copy paste messages when someone is promoting their own services, like for different fees. It's fine, like you know, you don't see them all, but I remember one, it just caught my attention. I remember the guy, don't remember the guy, don't remember the exact content, but something like the guy wrote something like, I'm a VC investor, and yeah, remember, we had a project, like I had a project who was seeking for VC investors, and we were doing the community building stuff, I would say. And the guy just approached it and said like, hey, I'm the VC investor, I would love to invite you, like I would love to support your projects and so on. And I was like, okay, but are you sure? Like, it's just untypically when you're seeing, like, you're receiving such an messages on your DMs from people who are like mentioning they are kind of VC investors. And what was fun there, like we were just chatting, we had a call, and after all these negotiations, like I thought, okay, let's give it a try. Probably it's a real investor who was just trying. It all ended up with a fun story. He was just picking me up for a date.
All right. Hey, he's taking a shot. Can't blame him.
I mean,
You
yeah.
know, actually, now that you mentioned VCs, one thing that came to mind, like from months back, and it's something like a bit constant, is me and Julian get a lot of messages
Mhm.
from friends and just random people a lot of the time. But I'll stick to Limpus specifically. They would say, "Hey, like, is it a good time to buy? Like, is it going up?" And or should I sell? Even worse, like, should I sell? And what we did, you know, with Olympus is we didn't tell anyone that we were launching. You know, like we just picked it up one day. We launched. There was a live stream. It went really well, as I told you. Like within 1 hour, we were at 100K market cap. And then over time, as you go out, you know, like people ask like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I tell them, "Hey, look, we've got Limpus. Like we're at 500K market cap now." And and then people would just like message me all the time, like, "Should I buy? Is it gonna go up?" And I'm like, bro, I have no idea like whether it's gonna go up or down. Like you think I'm here like puppeteering this. Like it doesn't work like that, you know. So I
Oh,
think that's a bit silly, but I love them all. Like all these people, you know, they put their trust in us. After all, if they trust us to say like, should I buy? And if I told them yes, they'll buy. That's a
yeah.
good friend that trusts you a lot, you know.
You know, it's I can understand this vibe because we at AlphaMind we also launched some sort of the podcast, like aka Twitter Spaces. We're calling it Brick by Bricks, when we're inviting different guests and we're talking about the market conditions, the situation in the market, something interesting, like what's going on. And I remember, like the last episode we had a team from Crypto Do. Maybe you know them, maybe not. It's the if I'm not mistaken, blockchain service providers. They're helping the projects with, like, they're helping the projects who are not really having like time or capacity to hire professional Web3 developers, and they're helping with their service and their skills. And I remember he was just mentioning, like the CEO, he was mentioning like, hey guys, during this time, just delete your CEXs and all like Binance and all the CEXs, and you like have a rehab from the crypto. And I just remember that like in 5 seconds, a guy just mentioned in the comments, oh yeah, I deleted that. What should I do next?
Just
Oh,
blindly following advice.
Yeah.
These are the gamblers, that we were talking
Mhm.
about before. That just like take some random person's advice or like even a friend's advice who just doesn't know much.
Yeah. It's like I always say during anything like AMAs and everything, like guys, do your own research, like always. It's important because and like you cannot trust the KOLs, you cannot trust your family in this. It's your life and it's your funds and it's your understanding. Like you need to be like cautious. I don't know if someone on the like on the street is telling you that you are stupid, will you believe it or not? Of course not. I mean, like generally, you wouldn't believe it, right? Would you?
Maybe you'll have a think about it. Hey, who knows? Do some further research.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, but I agree. You're right.
yeah, okay. While talking about this, I have one like also one question. What one thing you can tell me like as a secret that you would never tell your mom, like what you've done in crypto?
I mean, outside of crypto, I could name a lot, but but within crypto, something I've done that I wouldn't tell my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe some like investments in some tokens, to be honest. Like,
Once Nicola, when he was young,
oh
he
no,
took his mother's card, and you know that game Clash of Clans. He just started buying a lot of like hundreds and hundreds of euros worth of these green gems. You remember?
green gems. I was buying chests of gems, but I'm telling you, like, I thought it was free. Like, because I knew the password. It wasn't even the card. I knew the password to the Apple ID, and I must have been like 7 or something, and I thought it was the freest thing ever. I said this game is too easy. Like, how can it be? And a couple of days later, I found out it wasn't free and it wasn't so easy. But that's not in crypto. In crypto, and thanks for sharing, Julian, by the way. He just jumps in whenever he wants. Spill my beans. In crypto, yeah, I think like maybe putting some money on some tokens, like that would be like, that's not a smart financial decision. Where my mom would say, hey, that's a lot of money. Um, Apart from that, I don't think there is anything.
Have you ever used rent money to like buy to gamble with it or like to buy like stocks and shit?
Hey, you're not invited here. One time I had to pay my rent. I had no money, and I put it all on crash. I'm joking. I do like gambling though. We've gone to the casino in after Eat Denver. We went to the casino
Mhm.
in the mountains in Black Hawk, and it was a lot of fun because here in Malta you cannot go to the casino until you're 24.
Oh, never heard of these restrictions to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, it doesn't apply to me because I don't have a Maltese passport.
Mhm.
It applies to Julian, but I've just never gone because if you don't go with your friends, then you're a
Yeah.
real degen. Like,
Oh gosh, thanks. Julian, you are the best. Like I love how you're just jumping
no, no,
in, sharing the secrets and, and then disappear. Gosh, oh my god.
stay out of it.
Okay, and I believe like the last question for today. I just want to know your opinion regarding like to the community, to our community, your community. Whom would you recommend? Like which Twitter account you would recommend that everyone should follow? I mean, beside of course Limpus.
I have one. Yeah, Cappuccino Limited, at Cappuccino Ltd. This is a place where we are going to be showing more and more of our work lives, well, our lives really, because all we do is we wake up, I come out of that door, I come here to my laptop, I work, and then we go gym, and that's it. But through Cappuccino, the strategy is really just to involve people in what we do, show them some of the things we do, like on a deeper level, so that people can even say, like, hey, instead of like being a degen gambler
Mhm.
and like believing in teams that I don't know, I can take like this work advice from Nicola and Julian, not financial advice. It won't be like a call group
Mhm.
where we tell you like buy this, buy that, but rather we'll be showing you how we build in Web3 rather than be consumers, you know, and eventually probably lose out. So we'll share like how we get clients, how we deal with clients, how to like build your own meme coin and make it successful, how to engage with your community, and all this stuff that people should really look into, and they think is super complicated, but we've really like taken it into like a easy formula, simple formula, you know, that can be executed with a group of friends, or even like on a smaller scale by yourself. You know, when we started Limpus, it was just me and Julian, and now we have tripled, quadrupled in size. So our team is expanding, and we want people to be inspired by that. So we want to show them how we did it, how we are doing it even now, and how they can do that as well. You know, whether it's like joining us or doing something for their own, which is not just investing again in some like project that you have no idea about, but rather building something meaningful that people want. So I think that's like a good account to follow, because we just want to share what we do, and we've been very successful in the last few months. So I think people should follow it and learn more without like being in a toxic space, you know, of people telling you buy this, buy that, and being super affected by price, you know, of the market. There is always opportunities everywhere, whether the market is up or down. But if you buy a coin, then you're like inherently affected by the market price, and then it affects your mood, you know. But if you just work hard on something and build, then you cannot be unhappy, because you're being fulfilled, you're becoming more successful, and even if you fail, that's a lesson. So there's like really nothing that can go wrong with learning more about how you can build something for your own that's longer lasting than a simple investment in a token, you know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Nico, I'm so happy that you had the time today and we had this speech, because I believe in this 1 hour I had a lot of information to think of and a lot of laugh. Like, thanks, Julian, once more.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think
If you want to laugh, tune into our podcast tomorrow, the
with
Brewcast,
pleasure.
and you'll have some more
I
laughs.
remember, like you mentioned, that Julian shaved his beard, and I'm just curious what will happen tomorrow. So, like the first thing I'm doing after this interview, I'm just watching the first podcast. Like, I'm waiting for like a link from you, by the way, so that I
Okay,
can.
I'll send you a link.
Okay. And I think it's time to ramp up. I'm again extremely sore, like extremely grateful for you for finding the time. It was really cool conversation, and I hope we will see more and more like podcasts. We'll see more information and more cooperation between us. Thanks, and giving you the
Yeah,
mic.
absolutely.
Cut in my mouth.
Bye.
Hannah, thank you so much for having us. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a blast.
Oh, thanks,
All
guys.
right.
Next time.
Take care. Bye bye.